Crazy cannot even describe what happened in the stock market today. BBBY stock exploded to the upside. The S&P 500 was all over the place. Walmart and Home Depot reported earnings and they blasted up. We have a lot to talk about today, guys, especially when it comes to Bed Bath & Beyond, which is the stock everyone's talking about right now. Tom, this stock is short squeezing. It has a 50% short float. Tell us more.
Man, Mike, I had an $18 resistance on this stock today, and this thing blasted up even higher. And I know a few people who joined the live streams in the morning were actually swinging this one this week. So it's pretty insane to see how this one keeps rocketing up. Ever since the beginning of this month, Mike, the stock pretty much was all the way down around $5. And we hit highs today all the way up around $28.50. I didn't really see any specific company news here necessarily making this go up, but I will say that WallStreetBets and pretty much all the retail traders are running into Bed Bath & Beyond right now. It's almost like the new, I guess I would say, like AMC, and Yahoo Finance says that they snatched the meme crown today. And it's very interesting to continue to see all these amazing articles out. Like you said, there was a huge short float here, which is big, 50.7% of their public shares there. So that's obviously big. And then looking at Reddit, Mike, there was a lot of people on Reddit hyping up Bed Bath & Beyond today. That's pretty much all I saw on Reddit today, actually, was Bed Bath & Beyond. Funny enough, Kramer actually 6 days ago said to sell 10 million shares right now, and the inverse Kramer ETF on Twitter said it's up 180% since the tweet. So I don't know. I found it funny, Mike, but hey, WallStreetBets is getting behind it, so definitely keep it on the radar, guys. It is having some explosive movement.
Tom, go back to Reddit for a second. I saw some insane profit screenshots today. Let's take a look.
Yeah, this is huge here. Right around $1.8 million, 1.7 million total there on Bed Bath & Beyond alone. Like, this account went up a lot today, Mike, to say the least. That is just an insane jump. They're up 64% at one point there in the middle of the day. I hope they took some profits, Mike, because it ended up coming right back down. But nonetheless, it's funny. These guys are asking if they're adopting. They have all these funny comments in here. Look at Kramer. He's pissed right there. Cocaine Kramer's the name. But yeah, they have some funny stuff here on Reddit, Mike, tonight. This is awesome. There's some crazy profit screenshots. I just cannot believe all the crazy stuff going on. Like, look at this guy, $427,000 right there. So it's huge. The stock is really running up. Honestly, that resistance at like $28 today ended up holding up as a pretty big level, but even $18, Mike, ended up being a pretty big support there at the end. So honestly, I'm really going to watch that $18 support for tomorrow. Hopefully we can start breaking back out above like 22 and then heading back up towards that high of day again.
Absolutely. So the stock is crazy. Bed Bath & Beyond will be extremely volatile for the rest of the week, but even for the next couple weeks. While many other YouTubers will BS you out there and say, you know, now is still an amazing time to buy. Realistically, guys, if you are not in Bed Bath & Beyond already, there's a good chance you already missed the move. And I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I don't want to see people lose money for a stupid reason. The stock went from $5 up to $28. Yes, it can absolutely go higher, but is it worth the risk, right? That's the main question you have to ask yourself. Yeah, the stock can go higher, but is it worth the risk? And I know it's probably an unpopular point of view, but I don't want to just, deceive people just for extra views. So keep that in mind, guys. Be very, very cautious with this stock over the next couple days.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy one. And honestly, if you do trade it, I recommend getting in and out pretty quickly. Like you can see early in the morning today, we had a lot of momentum to the upside. And, you probably could have caught some pretty good trades there. But if you would have kept holding, then obviously the stock kind of went against you. So I feel like with this one, it's more of a momentum play. Maybe if you see, some good news or you see obviously like Reddit pumping it up or something, it might be a pretty good intraday play come tomorrow or over the next week if you do see some good momentum. But like Mike said, be very careful with it. It is a tough one to play and it's going to be really risky, especially on those options, Mike. Can you imagine those options today? I bet some of those calls were up well over 1,000% midday.
Easy, Tom. The IV has been exploding too. I was looking at some of the options over like the past couple days, and I saw some options that went from like $30 all the way up to like a couple thousand. So it has been absolutely crazy with Bed Bath and Beyond, and it's going to be volatile, especially for the rest of the week. But moving on to the next segment of the video, earnings were pretty good for Walmart today and Home Depot. Tell us more.
Yeah, so Walmart had a really good day, Mike. They actually ended up popping up 5%, which is huge for a stock like Walmart. And I want to show you guys this on the daily chart because I feel like it's pretty important. And I talked about this a lot yesterday, Mike, with this gap kind of to the upside here. And we're starting to just now fill this gap. And there's a huge resistance coming up right around $140. So I want everybody to be very careful of that level. We passed just slightly above it today, but there's a big resistance around 140 to 141. So as we get closer there, definitely be careful of some consolidation. But yeah, Walmart had great earnings, Mike, and pretty much across the board, all the articles that came out today about Walmart showed some pretty good signs. So they're pretty much sticking with their outlook here for the second half of the year, which is great. And then they came in right around expectations today. It wasn't anything too crazy. The EPS came in at 1.77, just beating out 1.62, and the revenue came in at 152.86 billion versus a 150.81 billion expected. So they did beat slightly on there. Now they did say that they issued warnings in recent months. They're going to be discounting items to try to make room on the shelves for some holiday items and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. But for the most part, they stuck with that outlook, Mike, which I think in this type of market with high inflation and stuff like that going on, sticking with those outlooks is a really good sign.
Yep. All right, there we go. So it's nice to see Home Depot and Walmart post strong earnings. Obviously, their earnings are pretty important because it really helps gauge, just the sentiment of the consumer overall, and it can be very beneficial while just analyzing the stock market as a whole because the consumer plays a gigantic role in the economy.
Yeah, it really does. And I will say there was some worrying stuff in the Walmart article. They did say that they saw some consumers kind of going more towards lower priced items rather than, for example, people were buying more canned goods and meats and stuff like that. But nonetheless, though, it's still good to see them coming out with good earnings. So I guess that was the only slight negative. But hey, I'll take the upwards movement with the stocks. I mean, that's amazing to see them up as much as they are. And like you said, it kind of gives us a good outlook here for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, we're pretty much going to have the exact opposites of today, direct competitors of Walmart and Home Depot, Target and Lowe's tomorrow. So yeah, Target will be big with Lowe's. And then tomorrow after close, we're going to have Cisco reporting as well, ticker CSCO. That's going to be a pretty big tech stock. But honestly, Target and Lowe's will be pretty big for the retail sector. They might come in a little bit different than Walmart and Home Depot, but hey, I hope that these guys kind of set the tone right for us.
You know it. And then, Tom, we also have a pretty big economic event tomorrow, and that is the FOMC Minutes Report. Tell us more.
Yeah, it comes out at 2 p.m. Eastern time, Mike. It's going to be a pretty big event. As we know, anything associated with the FOMC is big, whether it's the minutes or whether it's their meetings or whether it's any of the governors speaking or anything like that. Pretty much, it's always a pretty big event. So 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, be on the outlook. We will have retail sales coming out tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time as well. That'll probably be the big news in the morning, along with Target and Lowe's earnings. So keep that on the radar. But those minutes will be at 2 p.m. Eastern, Mike. Honestly, the minutes, Mike, they haven't been too influential in the past, but I will say the past couple ones have honestly moved the market quite a bit. So I'll be watching this event more than I honestly usually would.
All right. So for those of you who don't know what the FOMC minutes are or why they're important, basically what it is a recap of the most recent Federal Reserve meeting. Basically, what it's going to tell us is what these top decision makers at the Federal Reserve are thinking and looking at while they make their decision on what to do with interest rates. So basically, we're just going to know more information about what the top leaders at the Federal Reserve are seeing in the economy right now, and it can be very beneficial while just for investing overall and analyzing current sentiment in the stock market. So keep that in mind. 2 p.m. Eastern time is the time for tomorrow. But Tom, do you have any other important events or anything on the schedule?
Yeah, there's nothing too crazy on the schedule, but I will say, guys, just keep your eyes on BBBY and a few other stocks for tomorrow. I will say, though, Mike, the market once again just kept ripping to the upside today. In the middle of the day, SPY broke above that key 430 resistance and really blasted up. I will say, though, towards the end of the day, we did have a pretty big sell off come in. I will say Biden did end up signing the Inflation Reduction Act today, right at market close. So just keep this in mind, guys. It looks like it's setting a 15% minimum corporate tax rate. I'm not saying that this is the exact reason why the SPY started dipping end of day, but nonetheless, though, just watch for this to possibly affect the markets, especially heading up into tomorrow morning. There's going to be a lot of money thrown into clean energy and those types of stocks. So maybe Enphase, FSLR, Plug Power, different stocks like that might get a boost off of this tomorrow, but it's hard to say considering it might already be priced in.
Sounds good. Well, on that note, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Shopify to the upside.
Yeah, good old Shopify here, Mike. They had a pretty good recovery actually in the middle of the day. Go ahead and make them break right above that $40 resistance. I think that's a pretty good even level there for us.
Boom. With the next one, we have AMD to the downside.
Yeah, AMD. I hope this one keeps going down. Make them fall below $100 even. That's a pretty big intraday support there.
Right. And with the last one, we have good old Apple to the downside.
Yeah, Apple down. What's going on here, Mike? Go ahead and make them fall below 172.
You know it, Tom. They're very, very overbought. But, Tom, let's say they open up with a bunch of momentum tomorrow. Can you just give us a resistance anyways?
Yeah, so as far as resistance, there is a high of day today right around 173.75. So I would say if they could run up above 174, watch for a possible move if they do end up popping.
All right, sounds good. So we are watching Apple. I guess you could say both the levels Tom listed. Basically, if it breaks below the support he listed, we're looking at it for a day trade to the downside. And if it breaks above the resistance level he listed, we are watching it for a day trade to the upside tomorrow. And then we are also watching Shopify for a potential day trade to the upside tomorrow, only if it breaks above the level Tom listed. And then last but not least, we are watching AMD for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But Tom, today's member of the day is pretty awesome. Keisha made bank today, and we definitely have to showcase her profits channel screenshot. So huge shout out to today's member of the day, Keisha. She's just been doing absolutely amazing lately, so she definitely deserves a shout out, and she's very active in the chat too. So huge shout out to Keisha, and awesome job trading lately.
Yeah, amazing job, Keisha. That was really awesome. She actually had some Walmart calls that she held through earnings there, and they ended up exploding. So really good trade, Keisha. I think you picked a pretty good stock there, given Walmart. You know, they've had a lot of good movement over the past couple of years compared to a lot of other stocks. So I'm glad to see them finally recover up. And overall, just great trades in general. It's not just Walmart. She's been killing it on a lot of other trades. So amazing job, Keisha. Glad to see it. And even Flash, you know, amazing trades today as well. A nice 274% pop midday. So overall, we saw a lot of great moves in the market today, Mike, and it looks like a lot of profits are coming in.
Love to see it. There we go. Tom, do you have any favorite setups heading into tomorrow or anything you're watching?
Yeah, you know, some of my favorite setups, obviously, we talked about some of them like AMD to the downside. I think that's a pretty good play here. They're really moving a lot around this $100 support, bouncing off that 101 resistance in a pretty big way. Obviously, I'm still going to keep my eyes on BBBY, GameStop, and a couple other of those meme stocks that were kind of popping up today as well. But one of my favorite sectors lately has been the clean energy sector, Mike. And with this bill passing, the Inflation Reduction Act, I'm really going to keep my eyes on some of these stocks. I know that this bill's been set to pass, so the movement might already be priced in. But if we do start to see some breakouts tomorrow morning, maybe with Enphase, FSLR, and stocks like that, I think they might be able to go on some pretty good runs, given they're going to get like $369 billion in funding from this bill.
Yeah, these clean energy stocks have definitely are getting a lot of funding overall. For me, I'm really watching the big tech stocks tomorrow and for the rest of the week. So like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, stocks like that. Obviously, they're powerhouse companies, but they are very overbought in the short term. And I would not be surprised if the uptrend starts to slow down. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day, and definitely make sure to check out that first link in the description and the comments down below and join the StockedUp Discord. It is completely free. You get access to free day trades every single morning before open, and you can network and trade with a bunch of other great people and traders. Definitely check it out. Besides that, let's end the week strong. Thank you guys for watching.